Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. Hey, guess what time it is? Yeah, playoffs? Let's talk about playoffs. You kidding me? We're talking about playoffs. That's stupid. What a bad impression. I do so many better impressions. I shouldn't be trying to do Jim Mora. That dude's like, he's in his own world, and I ain't in that world. I can't do that, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. Sorry about last week. Um, so I had my birthday weekend, right? And you know, it's I don't I like to drink, I got my beers and things like that, but I'm not like a big like fucking alcoholic and shit, right? So like once a year, maybe I get fucked up. And oh boy, last weekend my friends did a damn good job getting me fucked up for my birthday. So um a little too good a job. I was still fucking drunk the next morning when I would have been able to do this show, but I had a massive fucking headache as well and was not feeling well, would not have been very good to do a show. So anyway, I just kind of answered people's questions and that sort of thing, and that's that. But I told you I'd be here this week. I ain't gonna leave you hanging for the first week of the playoffs, or for some of you, it's like the last week of regular season. For it depends. Like I'm in like 14, 15 different leagues, so it really depends on which league. A few leagues I'm still trying to get into the playoffs. There's a couple leagues where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm out. Most leagues I'm either in the playoffs or about to be in the playoffs or something. Um, but once in a while there's those fucking weird leagues um where just shit happens. You face a lot of injuries. We all run into that kind of shit. I mean, I know who to draft. I'm good at that shit. But sometimes that shit just does not work out because of injuries, because of all kinds of other shit, right? So, most of my leagues, yeah, I'm in the playoffs, good to go. Some of them, like you, maybe not so much. Um, but anyway, so I'm guessing there's going to be less of a crowd because some of my fans are like, I'm done this year. Fuck it. Why am I going to watch a fantasy show? It's just going to depress me. I have no one to start. What the fuck am I going to do with this information? Sure, you're funny and you're entertaining and what have you, but what the fuck? Fuck you, dude. I'm just kidding. But for those of you who are here, welcome. I'm going to help you get through this week, either into your playoffs or, through your first week of playoffs, get you to the next round. We're going to crush this shit. I don't care if you've got, $10 on the line, $0 on the line, thousands on the line. I'm going to help you win your league, win your belt, win your trophy, whatever the fuck it is that you have. All right. We're going to help you do that this week. So it's so simple how to do this show. All I'm really doing is sharing with you what I would do in your situation. I'm sharing with you the information that I'm going to be using to kick in everyone else's ass this week to help you kick the ass as well. So, welcome to it. Good morning, everyone. We got Nick up in here. What's up? Good morning. Hashtag TyRant Gang. You know it. Good to see you. Cheetah is out. Yeah, I know, right? It's like so many of these players have just like we made it to this, we made it to the playoffs with these guys, and now they're out. Damn. It's been a fucking brutal year. Like we say that every year. Oh, it's been a brutal year for injuries. But like fucking A, man. This season, this year, Jesus. It's that extra game, isn't it? Is that extra game somehow? I don't know. Ever since that's happened, like injuries have just been fucked up. But anyway, more new. Thank you. Nick's got the injury update news. I should hire him as my injury update guy. Look at this. Olave's out too. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be getting to that in a little bit here too. I'm going to be getting to my sleepers. Who are you going to put in instead of Olave? I will tell you who to put in instead of Olave. All right, trust me. I know what I'm doing here. I've been winning fantasy championships year after year, playing guys like Brashad Perriman. All right, I know who to use when you use them. And the fantasy playoffs are the time to take the risks that you need to. Now, you're going to take calculated risks. You're going to take, minimal risks and only risks that will that'll help you, but you're gonna take risks. That's just how it works. So what the fuck is going on? I'm getting some kind of crazy. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, there's only 3 of you in there. There's like 5 people in a second ago. Now we got 3 people. Jesus. I know, like people are probably just waiting, like hey, I know this motherfucker likes to smoke and fucking drink and shit beforehand. Fuck that guy. I'll wait 30 minutes and I'll get his real info. No, I know. It's all good. Hey, I get it. You guys come when you want to. You come join me in the fantasy armchair and we'll fucking go over your team. We'll, help you out, help you win your league, that sort of thing. If you want to wait until I'm done with my bullshit so you can ask your questions, that's fine. But I've got some good information for you this week. I thought about doing like a show, like fuck it, I'm just gonna answer all your questions. But you know what? Sometimes my sleepers get people thinking. All right. You didn't think about these guys before. You didn't consider some of this shit. So yeah, answering your questions is fine, but if you're not even considering some of these guys that might even be in your on your waiver right now that you could pick up, you could put Olave in your little IR spot and pick up someone who I'm going to be telling you here in just a little bit. All right, so we're going to get to that as well. What's up? Damn T Hills, yeah. As in Tyreek Hill, not Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's playing today. He might be a good start. Lave's out. Taysom Hill could be a good start. Someone else could be too. We'll go over that. Like I said, good morning, Richard. Good to see you. Help me, bro. Hey, I'm here to help you. That's what I'm here to do. Happy holidays to everyone. As you can see, I got fucking holidays threw up over my wall. So there you go. Which actually, it was nice because I don't have to fucking use some bullshit green screen. But anyway, so welcome everybody. Carolyn, I'm going to get to you. I didn't skip you. I'm going in a weird order. Just chill out for a minute. All right, we'll get to you. Which I left Goff on my bench. Didn't everybody? Jesus. That's what the problem with Goff is. Like he's a fucking headache. You don't know when to start him, when to sit him. It's completely fucking random with this guy. Never. The dude is on my fucking shit list, and he ain't coming off anytime soon. I like his targets, like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. Jahmyr Gibbs, to a lesser extent, Monty. Not to a lesser extent. He's been fine. But anyway, point is, not on Goff. But, he's going to have a good game once in a while. So anyway, Carolyn, we'll get to you. Good morning, Nick, said Carolyn. They're having like their own little conversation here. Look at this. Little tea party. I don't have tea, but I've got Cousin Coffee with me this morning. Yeah, that's right. We're going to do the morning pour in just a second. But, I need the wake-up juice as well. So Cousin Coffee there. Have your tea party. I'll have my coffee. All right. I skipped Matt, too, so don't feel bad, Carolyn. Let's see. I'm looking at some other shit. Matt, good morning, TyRant and all. Playoffs, woohoo. Yeah. In ESPN for me. Cheers and happy 420. Hey, happy 420. Let's get some shit sparked up here. Speaking of happy 420. Hey, you know what? It's morning for most of us, right? It's still morning, like for pretty much everyone watching. Technically, even if you're on the East Coast, it's 11:40. It's 20 minutes to noon. Still technically morning. So breakfast time, right? Hey, we're gonna have a breakfast beer. We'll do that pour in just a second. But look at this. I got Funky Charms. Yeah, it's magically delicious. That's crazy. You'll never be able to catch me, Funky Charms. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. I mean, me Funky Charms. Anyway. We got Funky Charms burning this morning. I haven't even tried this shit, so we'll see how it goes. If you're smoking, let me know what you're smoking. Got the Funky Charms here. Tastes pretty good. Doesn't really taste like Lucky Charms or nothing. It also doesn't taste like a leprechaun's asshole, so that's good too. Anyway. That's a good flavor. Wow. You know what? It's it's funny. It's called Funky Charms, but I'm gonna tell you something. It tastes more like Fruit Loops. Wrong cereal, guys. Come on. All right. Favorite cereal as a kid. Let me know what it is. We'll have a debate. I'm just kidding. I mean, we might talk about it, but put it in there. Your favorite cereal when you were a kid. For me, if I had the choice, um, it would be probably Fruit Loops. Yeah. Mm. But we had these like okay, it was back in like the late '80s. There were these really. If anybody knows what these were called, let me know. I've been trying to find these forever. I mean, I know they don't exist anymore, but I've been trying to find what they are. But they're like these little squares, right? And they're filled with like different jams or like excuse me, like fruit paste. Best thing I could say. Different berry, fruit pastes. It's really good. Good shit. Anyway, I don't know how we got on topic of cereal. Oh yeah, Funky Charms. Haha. Yeah, we know how we got there. All right. So got that lit up. Let's get the other part going, okay? Hey, it's the holidays. What are we drinking this morning? All right. This is from Ninkasi. Here's the bullshit thing. This stuff, this particular beer used to be called Slayer. Yeah, Slayer. Yeah. Matt, you know. But this shit, like now, they change it. It's called uh winter ale. But if you look at it, okay, so it's hard for you to probably see. If it if the fucking camera will focus, I don't know if you can see that. It's really, really small, right above winter ale. Okay. It says Slayer. So you know that it's the Slayer. So it's fucking stupid. It's like Slay apostrophe R winter ale. It's like the marketers were, there's like a new marketing team that's like, hey, we don't want to like associate our beer company with metalheads. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who do you think's drinking your product, you dumbass? Matt, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, so we got the holiday beer. For those of you who don't know, yeah, it's a winter ale. It's kind of like a red lager sort of a thing. It's good shit. I love it. Slayer. Um, for those of you who have had Slayer from Nikasi before, that's what this is. It's just in a different bottle, and they made the word Slayer really fucking small so you can't see it. Hide it from the grandkids. I don't know what the fuck their problem is. But anyway, we're gonna double fist fucking intoxicants here. I'm gonna pour. Get some ASMR on that. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. It's not a good pour sound. Anyway, I need a better microphone for that shit. All right. For those, you might be hearing some weird noises. I'm getting lots of updates here because I want to make sure to get you guys the best information, especially like with these injuries that are going on. It's fucking crazy out there. Anyway, here's to everyone. Good morning. Good luck to you all in the playoffs. We're going to talk about who my sleepers are, deep dives, uh, 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 fucking streaming kickers, streaming defenses, and I'm going to answer all your sit and start questions and whatever questions you might have. We're going to talk about breakfast series. We're going to talk about holiday shit this week, probably more so next week because I got a big Christmas show happening. Yeah, Thinkers Think of Power Hour Christmas edition. This is kind of a preview of it. I think the only difference is I'll be probably wearing a, Santa hat. Otherwise, it's going to be the same shit. So anyway, but here's to you all. Let's go. Playoffs, baby. You made it. Let's do it. All right. Starting it off right. Gotta light this shit back up. So let's go back up to the top and start answering your questions. Then We're gonna take a break from that. I'm gonna go with my streamers and all that shit. Terrace Marshall's out. If in case any of you were starting Terrace Marshall this week, that guy, he was someone who I thought was gonna be big coming in this league. He really hasn't got much of an opportunity because like Jonathan Mingo came in now. He's like, ahead in the depth chart. It's just poor guy. Terrace Marshall got a bad shake. Could be big, but just, sometimes it happens. Like there's guys like you think are gonna be big, and they come in and they just don't get much of an opportunity. So then, they're kind of wasted. It sucks. But c'est la vie. All right. All right. 10 people in. Let's do this. Carolyn, ho, 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 yo ho. Yeah. Well, ha, 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 you ha. That's stupid. What a dumb fucking response. Yeah, I deserve to be a hoe. That's fine. It seems Hurts is looking iffy. I just picked up Stafford. Should I play Matty today? He has a good matchup, and I do have a nice lead, but it's still a must win. I got you. Here's the thing. I've been picking up Stafford and playing him in leagues where I need to fill in a quarterback. Shit, I just fucked that up. It's okay. So I'm gonna look at something here, but give me a second. So yeah, I do like Stafford this week. Let's take a look though. Bear with me just a moment. I want to take a look at the status. Updated, what's going on. Oh shit. Sorry. Okay. Mr. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's been like with the questionable tag there. It's an illness, as they say. Let's see. I'm reading some things here. It's a Monday night game. Oh yeah, it's pretty awful kind of situation. It's like a mystery illness. You like back with like okay, so when these were things were like COVID, there was a protocol and all that, so we kind of knew what was going on. With these illnesses recently, I'd say like I don't know what the percentage is, but it's definitely over 50%, probably closer to 90% of the time. These illnesses, they just they go away, they come in, they play, they suck it up, they take some Pepto Bismol, they get over this shit and they do it. They get paid millions. So my gut feeling on this is that he's going to play. He's going to be fine. He's going to go out there. It's going to be good. So like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see going with Stafford. Ultimately, I mean, it's close. It's just like the problem is it's a good damn matchup if Jalen Hurts plays. If you feel like you have enough of a lead, I think that Stafford isn't going to fuck it up. Okay. Having Hurts remain out when you have no backup on Monday night is going to fuck it up. Now, like I said, personally, I would put it at about 90% sure Hurts will be in just because of the way these things go. But that 10% might be enough to deter you. Now, of course, if you can, I wouldn't like, okay, for instance, like I'm not going to pick up Marcus Mariota, just fucking play Stafford at that point. However, if for some reason Geno Smith is available, you can get him in that league. I would get him as a backup. But if you can't, yeah, start Stafford. I mean, I think that Jalen Hurts is going to have a better game, but Stafford's going to have a good enough game to where, like I said, he's not going to fuck up your team, especially if, like you're saying, you've got a lead now. It's not desperation. I mean, you don't want to fucking shoot yourself in the foot. So I'd say this: if you can pick up Geno Smith, do it and go with Hurts. If you can't, start Stafford. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's the playoffs. You can't fuck around. All right. So this is it. This is one of those times when you're going to drop people you wouldn't think you had to drop because you got to pick up people you never thought you would have to pick up, but then it ends up being the right play. And that's what you do during the playoffs. You don't want to like fuck around and like, oh, I'm just gonna be cute with it and sit studs because the matchup isn't great and this guy's coming back. No, you're not gonna do that. However, like I said earlier, you're gonna take calculated risks. You have to take risks, but they got to be calculated. Now, in this case, it's a big risk that if you don't have Gino, that to try to hold out and see if Hurts will play. Like I said, usually these things, yeah, okay, fine. They're they're fine to play. But you never know. So, like I said, that's my answer. If you can pick up Gino, I try to go with Hurts, start Gino if Hurts is out. Because I think start Gino if Hurts is out. Yeah. I think that Gino's a good play this week, actually. I like him. So, but if you can't do that, yeah, go Stafford. So anyway, that was like a really long answer. I answered like 4 or 5 times, but I wanted to make sure you understood why. That's not just some fucking like shot in the dark. There's reasons. These are things I've been thinking about and that I have to think about too. So that's where I'm going with that, Carolyn. Hopefully that helps. All right, I want to make sure I don't skip anyone here. Okay. This is Matt, by the way. I'm on my mobile. Did we know Gods Amongst Men? Who else is coming on as Gods Amongst Men? I mean, unless some of your other bandmates decided to, start watching my show, which would be cool. But Rich is like, Carolyn, wait, me first. Yeah. Let's see. You first. No, dude. Carolyn was first. And that's why we started with her. Hey, Nico's out as well. Yeah, we knew that. We knew Nico was out. And so then the question is like, okay, well, who do we, are we going to start Noah Brown? Well, the thing is, Noah Brown's got a knee issue as well. So, yeah, I've got a little something on that. A little hint to later. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. Nicholas Stafford, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, that shit's good. I didn't, that first came out in the 80s and like I don't know. I didn't really hop on that bandwagon until being an adult. And I'm like, fuck, where was this all my life? Yeah, dude. Good one. Coco Pebble says, Richard, but focus, bro. It's playoff. Focus. Yeah. I know. We're just having some fun here, dude. We're going to focus. I am focused. You don't understand, man. I'm up all night focusing. I've got this information. I've got 5 or 6 pages of information sitting here in front of me, waiting to be read, waiting to be analyzed. Well, I've already analyzed it, waiting to be broken down by me for you. Don't worry. I got the focus. I can still talk about cereal. Kicks with chocolate Hershey syrup swirl, and you make a chocolate milk. I wonder if that'll be better than Cocoa Puffs. Hell yeah. Okay. Can't wait to burst in the Christmas Crunch, red and green Cap'n Crunch on Christmas morning. Also been munching on Josh Jackson and Josh Allen cereal, delicious blue and red Fruit Loop type deals. I've seen commercial or not commercials, but I've seen like video of that shit. That's cool. Friends sent them from below. Is that what they call that? Buffalo. All right. So let's get back into some questions here. Erica Flex, Kyron, or Zeke, and would you play Taysom Hill over Kittle or I? Hey, listen, Erica, you got a beautiful smile. You're a wonderful person, but I would play Taysom Hill or Kittle over you any day. Sorry, you're not my tight end pick this week. That'd be crazy to deep dive. Yeah, one of my fans that doesn't play football. You can start them this week. You can't. You'd have to like add them somehow into the league. I don't know, custom, whatever the fuck. So I don't know what that means. For some reason, my mind thinks that's Isaiah Likely. I'm just guessing. Oh, wait, here's another message. Boom, Isaiah Likely. Well, there you go. um, I'm playing Kittle. I ain't fucking around. I'm gonna play Kittle until the wheels fall off. But between Taysom Hill and Likely, I like Likely. I like. Likely is likely the better pick of those guys. All three of them are going to be good this week. I think all three of them are potential top 10 but I would say Kittle and Likely are sure things. Likely's more than likely. He's a sure thing for me. um but I think Taysom Hill with the Olave out could do some things too. But I mean, I'm not sitting Kittle. I can't. You're asking a 49ers fan. You know, it has nothing to do with that. As a smart fantasy manager, I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit Kittle. Pardon me. I know, in one game against him, he had one catch for 9 yards, but he was a little banged up at that one. So I don't know. He was dealing with some shit there. So I mean, I can see why you're doing that. And if you really are feeling weird about it, all right, fine, go Isaiah Likely. But I'm still not. I'm not sitting George Kittle personally. He's getting too many targets. He's I mean, because he's out there on every play. Because in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, he's the best blocking tight end in the league. On top of being one of the best pass catching tight ends in the league. And so he's out there on every play. So it's not like, I'm going to sit him. On the other hand, Likely, he's been out there a lot too. So I personally would say I'm going to lean toward Kittle because he's a stud. I don't give a fuck about the matchup. He's a stud. He's faster than a lot of those, fucking fast linebackers they put on the strong safeties. They try. He does what he needs to do. You got to watch the film. You got to use the eye test when it comes to this guy. And I know that you're paying attention because you're a Seahawks fan, and maybe that's why you're asking that question. But yeah, I would go Kittle. But like I said, if you're feeling weird about that matchup, I won't fault you for going Isaiah Likely. It's a good matchup for that. I know, Erica, you like to go with your gut, and I'm telling you, you could go either way. Either of them over Taysom Hill. But Taysom Hill is another good option too. I think all three of them get over 10 fantasy points this week. Anyway, but so it'd be Kittle, Likely, Hill, and probably a 5-point differential. So, go figure. Go with your gut on that. But my gut says I'm starting Kittle. Likely's got a great matchup. Taysom could fill in a lot for Olave. But, there you go. You can't start all three of them at once. It'd be cool if you could hybrid your tight end, just fucking start. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be ridiculous. Anyway, starting like 3 tight ends at the same time for 1 tight end. It helps. Thank you, Ho. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You wouldn't want me to be a hoe. No one wants to see that shit. All right. I'm also concerned about Jalen Hurts being Q and Geno is Q looking unlikely or questionable. Okay. So should I get Drew Lock or Mariota as backup? If what you're saying is that you have Jalen Hurts and Geno, and you want to get Mariota and Drew Lock, I think both Geno and Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts is more likely to play than Geno, but I don't know. I mean, I guess having Geno as a backup for Hurts isn't good if we don't know if Geno's going to play. But from what I'm hearing is he will, and I put that about 85% sure versus the 90% sure that Hurts is going to play. So if those are your choices, you don't have Stafford out there to be able to pick up, then I would probably I would get Drew Lock over Mariota personally. But anyway. Thanks, TyRant. You're very welcome. All right. So that's first round of questions. If you've got more questions, oh wait, I missed one here. Oh, hold on, I missed a few. Goddamn! Yay, Christmas edition! It's gonna be a lot of fun next week. Good times. I'm gonna have some Christmas music playing in the background. It's gonna be good. All right. Like I said, I skipped a couple here. Nick Pollard or Hall, Standard League. Um, Here's the thing. Pollard, it's not like it's not the greatest matchup, but it's not the worst either. Brees Hall, on the other hand, has been on fire. Well, maybe not on fire. He had a really good week last week, though. And the thing is, he's getting a lot of check down kind of passes. Dude had 8 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown last week. And that's good enough on its own. Plus, you add in 10 carries for 40 yards, whatever. Brees Hall, someone who coming into the league, everyone was really high on. And then, he got hurt. So we were wondering what was going to happen there. And if you look at the bulk of his season this season, he's been pretty good, no matter who's been the QB. So I actually, I think that Brees Hall's a really good play this week. I'd say that, he's going to get top 20, maybe even, probably, I would say probably top 15 numbers this week. Let's look at Pollard real quick. Excuse me. Pollard at Buffalo. Here's the thing. Buffalo is actually somewhat susceptible to, or they're vulnerable, to running backs. And they're giving up the 13th most fantasy points in PPR to running backs. So, they're, it's mediocre at best, against the run. So I'm thinking that Tony Pollard, a lot of people for whatever reason, I've been reading a lot of stuff about them, like being kind of down on him. Okay, so last week he goes up against Philadelphia, right? The 31st ranked against running backs. He still puts up 16.6 fantasy points. I know he had some time that he struggled, but over the past 4 weeks, 3 out of those 4 matchups were kind of, gimmies against Carolina, Washington, Seattle. Really good production there. But like I said, against a good run defense like Philadelphia, he still scored 16.6 fantasy points. He's on the road where he hasn't been as good on the road. I'll give you that. But, the way that Dallas has been playing and the way Buffalo's been playing, Buffalo's desperate right now. They're going to need a win. They're going to need to fight hard. I think I'm starting pretty much everybody in this game. Now, the concern on that is the weather. Okay, there's going to be some rain in the forecast. Okay. I think they're going to be able to handle it, which actually helps the case for Pollard. Little short passes, don't get affected by weather as much as the big long ones. A lot more handoffs. All right. So that's a really, really good question. Pollard or Hall? I'm going to go Pollard. I think that Pollard's going to be around running back 10. I'd say Brees Hall is probably running back 13 to 15 range. So anyway, that's my take on that. I'm talking it through to you. Yeah, I like Pollard there. Standard league. Oh, okay. I didn't even read that part. Oh man. Yeah, I guess that makes a little bit of a difference. Sorry, I didn't see that before. Of course that makes a little bit of a difference. But I think matchup wise and with what's going on, still it's close. That brings it a little bit closer, actually, I'd say. I mean, definitely a little bit closer. So now you're looking at Pollard being like, around that 13 range and Hall being around that 13 range. I mean, it's going to be real close with those two. In standard league, In standard league, I'd say both of them are going to get, maybe around 13 to 15 fantasy points. So it's yeah. I mean, it's a coin toss to me. For me, it would be, but yeah, I'm giving the slight nod to Pollard, just because like I said, Buffalo Bills are vulnerable to the run. I think it's all hands on deck for this game. I would love to get Brees Hall in there too. I mean, who do you got in your flex there in standard? Let me know, because you might be able to get Brees Hall in as well. Let me know the rest of the setup of that team, because I'd like to have both of them in. But if I have to choose one, yeah, I'm going Pollard. So there you go, Nick. Very good question, actually, because it's really close in standard. I mean, it's a little easier in PPR. Yeah, I give the nod to Pollard, but in standard, yeah, it's difficult. Cowboys or Browns, D. Yeah. Well, let's see. Like I was just saying, Buffalo needs to score points. It's going to be a rainy game, but we've seen it before where, excuse me, Buffalo's tested in these bad weather games, whether it be snow, rain, sleet, or whatever. Okay, he makes the plays. They do. Stephon Diggs and is good at catching the wet balls. From what I've been hearing, the Cowboys have been doing wet ball drills, so they're preparing for it. Okay. Um. Anyway, I think that Buffalo is going to be scoring enough to where I'm a little bit cautious about starting the Cowboys defense this week. Now, I mean, they can be studly. Like, I mean, against Seattle, they had -1 point. Against Philadelphia, it's 11. That's not bad. But, I mean, Buffalo, yeah, I don't know. I'm afraid of that. I totally understand, you know, like we said earlier, it's the playoffs, you know. The studs like to step up, but we're talking about defenses here. We're talking about matchups. And if you're I mean, the Browns against Chicago, I love it, right? The Browns have been another kind of surprising defensive team. Yeah, they shit the bed against the Rams. But other than that, dude, I mean, they've been solid for defense. So yeah, I'm gonna go Browns this week over Cowboys. I know it's crazy to if you think, but honestly, it's not that crazy. I mean, they're both like I believe they're both top 5. I mean, I know that Dallas is. So I know at least Cleveland. I'm gonna double check that real quick. But I mean, at the very least, there. Let's see. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Cleveland's number 5, Dallas number 1. So yeah, I mean, they're both really good defenses, regardless. But in that case, you're going matchup, and the matchup's so much better for the Browns. So yeah, I'm going Browns this week. Ryan Dempsey, what's up? Hashtag TyRant Gang. What's up, Ryan Dempsey? He goes, you missed all my brother. What? What did I miss? I didn't miss shit. With Jalen Hurts possibly out sick, am I starting Smith over Thielen and Ford? Yeah. Yeah. I'm still starting them. I'm still starting Smith. I'm still starting A.J. Brown. They got to get the ball to those guys. Whether it's Mariota or Hurts under the helm, they're still got to get the ball to those guys. So yeah, I'm starting them. Thielen has a terrible matchup, and he's been fucking piss poor lately. Ford, I'll tell you what, if it's standard, yeah, I might start Ford over Smith. Ford's got a good matchup, but if it's PPR, I'm starting Smith. That's a lot closer. So Reichel, my buddy, I love your picture because it's old fucking it's Big Patrick Willis, ripping apart. Who is that? Is that Marshawn? I don't know. Seacox. Connor Foreman. Connor just got just above 6 points last time he ran against our Niners. But we got some injuries on our D line. Yeah, I know. And with Foreman going against the 19th most fantasy points allowed in the league, yeah. If you got to choose between the two, let me take a look at a couple of things real quick because the problem with starting any of the Chicago Bears running backs is that you got Foreman. I mean, it's that is also a bad matchup against Cleveland. So take that for what it is. And it's not like they've been running the ball great anywhere. Also, you got to factor in Khalil Herbert. And I know that he's been taking the playing second fiddle to Foreman. And I've been saying it since forever that I think Deonta Foreman is a fucking beast, and that he's someone who should be a starting running back in this league. And now he is. So good, great, grand, terrific. Holy shit. I'm just looking at the time like, fuck, I got to get to all the stuff. But it's okay. It's more important that I answer your questions than get to my shit. How did I miss your question? Hold on. Did I really? Walker Gibson. People, I'll get back to that. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, I was just reading Richard. How did I miss that question? Good Lord. Okay, anyway. So looking at some things here. Yeah, and then you got Roshan Johnson in there too. So I mean, that's the whole thing is there's just so much competition in a matchup that's not very good. Honestly, I'm sticking with Connor. I think you're right in the way that the 49ers D line now where all healthy, we have what I would consider one of the, if not the best front seven in the league. However, you're right, they're banged up a bit. Excuse me. So the other thing too about that, let's see. Generally speaking, the Niners have been great against running backs. Excuse me. But Connor's, since he's been back, it's taken a little bit of him to step things back up. But they had that big game against Pittsburgh. They're on a bye. They've been practicing all week. I don't like either one this week, but I think if I have to choose one or the other, I think I'm going Connor. Let me see one more thing. I just, he's not competing for touches the way that Foreman is. So, yeah, I gotta go. I hate it. It's so close to me. I think they're both going to get somewhere around 10 fantasy points. I think like Foreman gets like 10 fantasy points and Connor gets like 12, something like that in PPR. So anyway, that's the best I can do for you, man. Sorry, a slight nod to Connor. It's not a strong answer because neither one is a strong play. That's why. Achan or Pollard, Tyreek is out. Yeah, we know that. Achan. How did I read that wrong? Achan or Pollard. I'm going Pollard because Achan is still competing with Mostert for touches. He hasn't. Let me look at. I've got him in a bunch of leagues, and I'm just waiting for him to, look the same as he was earlier in the season. He had that. I mean, of course, he had that one really great game coming back in, but then he's back down 12.1 fantasy, seven carries last week. Now he had 9 targets with 5 receptions, but and this week, I mean, it could be a really good week for him against the Jets. Yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, go Achan. Sorry, I just talked myself into it. It's so close in the first place. I'm gonna give a very slight nod to Achan. I was on the fence about it, but now that I think about it, I'm looking at the matchup. It's really good. I mean, I think both he and Mostert could tear it up, and I think that with I mean, yeah, his touches went down, but I could see them going right back up because he's been efficient with them, and they need some spark to that offense. They're coming into the playoffs cold. They need to heat up. Achan's the guy to do it. I like it this week. I have JJ in my flex. I have AJ Brown and Ayuk as my other wide receivers. Okay. Well, then there you go. Let me get back to that then. Jesus. Yeah, go Pollard. Barely. That's one of those things that if you have a gut feeling on that, go with it. But I like Pollard. Walker or Gibson. Give me Gibson this week. It's a good matchup. I mean, I'm not putting him up to like RB1 status, but Walker's not been doing as well. It's a bad matchup for him. He's splitting, not only splitting, but he's giving up carries to Charbonnet. So I'm gonna go Gibby. Gonna go Gibby this week. It is standard. Smith with man. Standard. I'm gonna go Ford. Slight nod to Ford though. Slightest of nods. Luis, what's up, my man Luis? Flacco or Levis? I'm gonna go Flacco. And that brings me actually to my sleepers this week. All right. Let's take a look. It's not in a book. It's on my fucking computer. Reading Rainbow. Take a fucking drink. What do you think? Thanks, brother. I had Pollard. I wanted to ask the guru. Well, that's why I'm here, right? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you get advice from the guy who gives fantasy advice? It just makes sense. All right. So, sleepers this week. If I can load this shit up. Oh my God, I don't know why this shit's fucking being weird. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the technical difficulties, blah, blah, blah. Why is it being so dumb? Okay. Pardon me. I don't know why this is being so fucking weird. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I am well prepared, I promise. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get through this because I got a tinker stinker myself. So here we go. Here's my sleepers and deep dives and all that shit, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right. I'll answer the couple more questions that are coming in too. So here we go. I'm a running back sleeper this week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No. For those of you who are old school fans, no. I'm not going to do another rap for you. I'm sorry. The last time I recommended this guy, I did a rap about him, and he did terrible. And I haven't recommended him since. That was like 2 years ago. All right? But here we are with Pacheco out in a beatable matchup. I actually think CH is a sneaky good play just in time for the playoffs. And you got to take risks, like I said, but calculated ones. Last week, CH out-snapped Jet McKinnon, and even though it was only by 2 snaps, he out-carried him 11-4. Now, he had a combined 68 yards, and a touchdown would have made his day pretty damn good. And that could happen this week. Casey is pissed, and they're going to be looking to dispatch the Pats early, which could mean that they're going to be slowing things down with the run in the second half. That happens, hey, enter CEH. Dude can be putting up some gaudy numbers just because they need to slow down the game. Give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball. Could happen. It's a risky play, but if you're running out of options, No pun intended. Running that, blah, blah, blah. It's a bad pun. Of course it wasn't intended. Maybe it was. I don't fucking know. Who cares? The Fresh Prince of Hilaire could help you in your quest for the throne. Yeah. He's only 38% owned, so should be available if you need him. Another option that I like at running back this week is Tyler Algier. Okay. Now, Falcons have been pretty much using him as their victory cigar, and to help spell their stud rookie running back Bijan in games where they're up comfortably already. Pardon me. And they could certainly find themselves in that same kind of spot this week against the Panthers, who themselves are allowing the third most fantasy points to running backs. And they allowed Algier to have his best game of the season thus far in week 1, where he scored over 24 fantasy points at PPR. So in a lot of these situations where the guy feels good playing against the team, that usually pays off. It tends to endure. And so this could be a cheap contrarian DFS play. Could pay off big. Sneaky play if you're desperate for running back as well. So there you go. You had a twofer right there. CH, Tyler Algier. Those are my sleeper picks at running back this week. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Little beer doused that out. Excuse me. Me. All right, that's better. All right. So at wide receiver, you got Rashid Shaheed because Olave's out. If he's out, Shaheed could be looking for a big game against the Metropolitan Midgets. Yeah, I ain't PC. I'm never going to be PC. Fuck it. It's midgets. I ain't calling them little people. Little people sounds fucking weirder to me than midgets. I'm sorry. Anyway, the Metropolitan Midgets. PC be damned. Yeah, seriously, though, New York is giving up top 3 numbers to opposing wide receivers. And when Olave has been banged up or otherwise ineffective, Shaheed's been the guy to step it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Taysom Hill, he'll mix in as well. But I think Rashid, my double deep danger dive of the season, by the way, could be taking on the top dog role for pass catchers in the Saints offense and a gimme matchup. So if Olave, like I said, if Olave is out, so Shaheed has a chance for a big game here. I like Rashid Shaheed as a good fill-in spot. Like I said, Taysom Hill is someone that you could use at the tight end position, but I've got another tight end for you because this week I'm getting jiggy with it. No, getting jiggy with it. That's the second Will Smith reference I've made in this episode. And just like Will Smith, my fantasy advice slaps. Yeah, old school. I mean, well, old reference, like a year ago, right? Or over a year ago. Fuck. No, anyway. Yeah. I was waiting to make that one. Couldn't resist. So anyway, yeah, he was quiet for the first half of the season. I'm sorry. Of course, we're talking about Chiggy Okonkwo for the Titans. He's my sleeper tight end this week. He was quiet for the first half of the season, but he's been heating it up the last few games with 17 targets in the last 3 games. Pretty good for a tight end. He's been averaging around 9 fantasy points in that span. Now, he's yet to hit pay dirt, but that could change this week against a Texan squad who's given up the 4th highest fantasy point total to tight ends on the season. I think he's good. He's probably just a DFS play here, as there's plenty of good tight end options this week, but he could be a good contrarian DFS play. You might put him in, and for some reason, there's no reason I would think that you're necessarily desperate at tight end, but hey, you don't want it a sleeper, you got it. That's my sleeper tight end, Mr. Chiggy Okonkwo. That's right. And at QB, all right, you ready for this? Here we go. My quarterback sleeper for the week. You ready to be shocked? Let's do it. Zach Wilson. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I would never tell you to start Zach Wilson. I mean, although he could shock the world this week, but I could also shit ice cream and top it off with a marshmallow fart. But that ain't gonna happen, all right? No. Fuck Zach Wilson. My choice this week, however, is a former elite Jets QB. Yeah, that's right. He was my double deep danger dive 2 weeks ago, and that paid off. And this week I have him as my sleeper QB. Of course, I'm talking about Joe Flacco. Yeah. Dude's been a top 15 QB. Or I think he'll be a top 15 QB this week. Guy was a top 10 QB last couple weeks. Yeah, go figure. Joe Flacco. Who saw that coming? Right? He was playing better than fucking Deshaun Watson. Maybe, and Joe Flacco ain't diddling around with masseuses. Anyway, so here's the thing. The Browns are in the cushy part of their schedule, especially for the passing game. Okay, if you look at what the rest of their schedule, where they're at right now, it's been good for the passing game. And this week they got the Chicago Bears. Bears, Chipmunks maybe, but Bears. Hey, if you get the reference, let me know. All right, yeah, it's Christmas Story. But there you go. I just watched it, so I had to throw that in. Chipmunks, maybe, but Bears, never. Anyway, it's another soft matchup for Flacco, is my point. And he's continuing to gel with the team. I think this week he's finally going to put that together with Cooper. I think those guys are hooking up this week. Bears are bottom 12 against fantasy QBs, and the Browns are fighting for a playoff spot. So they're going to be looking to score early and often, and that projects for a good game for Flacco. So there you go, Joe Flacco, my QB sleeper this week. You're looking at about 20 or so fantasy points. I think, he could have a top 15 finish, which is good if you're desperate for QB in a if you're in a 2 QB league, I'm sure, someone's already got him. But, DFS play, maybe not quite as much. It's more kind of a fill-in if you are hurting at QB, like if you've had some QB injuries and that kind of thing. All right, so here we go. My double deep danger dive of the week. You ready for it? Now, these guys rostered in only 5% of fantasy leagues. Yeah, a wide receiver. It's old Bobby Trees himself. That's right. You heard me. Robert Woods could be a top, 20, we'll say, wide receiver this week. Yeah, and he could be the top wide receiver to roster for the Texans. Now, Dell is out. Nico's out. Noah Brown is hobbled, like I said, with that knee injury. Okay. So Schultz, he could play well, but he's in a bad matchup. It's not good for him. He's coming off of an injury. It's a bad matchup. All right. I think it could end up being that Woods is on the positive end of Case Keenum, or he's going to be the most heavily targeted by Keenum. I think Woods could be the top guy for Keenum this week. I know they're playing Case Keenum instead of Davis Mills. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. I think that the Texans, the game script is basically going to be having them throw at a high volume. So, Woods could have the best game of the season. He could put up wide receiver 2 or 3 numbers thereabouts against the Titans, who have been piss poor against fantasy receivers, giving up the 6th most fantasy points to receivers in the season. So now, Noah Brown may be the play here, but I don't know. He's been hurt. I think he's going to play, but he could be a bit hobbled with that knee. He could be playing more of a decoy, and you could see Robert Woods get out there. Only owned in 5% of fantasy leagues. So, hey, listen, most people are going to go with Brown, but the savvy fantasy managers in the playoffs know when to zig while others zag. And I like Woods to be my zigzag this week. Zigzag. That's old school smoking pot. Yeah. Remember that rolling joints in you with your zigzags? Anyway, so there you go. I like Woods this week. So let's move on quickly to the defenses. I'm going to get through this real quick. Many of the best streaming options already been played this week, like the Raiders, Colts, Bengals. Those are some of the better streaming options this week. But if you missed out on those, it's a little bit of meat on the bone here. I got a couple of them for you. Atlanta once again is back in my start list for defenses. And last time I told you to start them, it paid off with the Falcons D having the best fantasy scoring day for the season to date, scoring 17 fantasy points in most formats in week 13. Well, it's time to stream them again against Carolina. Now, who they've been scoring the second most. Sorry, they scored their second most single game points against in week 1. So Atlanta had their second best scoring output as a defense in week 1 against Carolina. So they've already proven that they can play well against them, and I think they can do that again. It's not like Panthers have gotten any better. They're allowing the 4th most fantasy points in defenses. So Falcons could be a good streaming option again this week. Don't miss out this time, because you probably did last time, right? But hey, if they're not available, Houston or Tennessee are likely to be, both those teams are likely to be available, and they're both going to be good defenses to stream this week. All right, Tennessee doesn't score a lot, and Houston, while not a great defensive team, has been able to take advantage of exploitable matchups. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Texans, like I said, they're starting Case Keenum. And while Case isn't, green in the gills per se, he's not very effective either. The Titans D could clamp down and make Keenum try to beat them. All right, which is likely to work in the Titans' favor. So either D really is worth a stream for you. All right, so let's move on to kickers then. And with kickers, I like Brandon McManus. All right, he was a solid top 5 kicker just a few weeks back, and he could find himself there again in Baltimore. Both teams will want to score, and McManus could get his fair share of tasty licks in there. Yeah, I see a 10-point plus fantasy game in his future. You'll take it. You'll take that from a kicker. 10 points, right? That helps you. Yeah. You'll take that with a smile on your face, because that's a good kicker stat. As long as they're hitting double-digit fantasy points, you're good. At home on a clear day, I like McManus to have a good game. Nick Folk, that's my other guy here. He's on this list every week, but he never gets love. He's like 14% owned or some weird bullshit like that. Great matchups in the next 3 weeks. So he's someone that you could have as your kicker throughout the fantasy playoffs. Now today he's got Houston, who are less potent than normal with all their stars injured. And this could mean more field goal opportunities and less chance of going into touchdown only mode. See what I'm saying? So, it could be a really good game for Nick Folk for those reasons. Texans are bottom 10 against kickers in fantasy, so there's that too. So anyone else that's worth starting, you either played or own in 50% more of leagues. So there you go. Kicker spots covered. All right. Let's go back to questions real quick, and then we're going to head out. Hopefully this has been helpful to you all. Pardon me. That's where we... All right. Okay. Mahomes has been shit lately. Am I crazy for thinking of starting Howell over Mahomes? You're not crazy. I'm not doing it. I'm starting Stafford over Mahomes. I don't know if I'm starting Howell over Mahomes. Spears or Singletary this week? Jesus, really? Spears. That's my initial thought. But it may be Singletary. Hold on, let me look at something real quick. I didn't expect that question. Spears has been great. I mean, is he going to overtake Henry eventually? Not this season, but we'll see. Yeah, I got to go Spears on that one. It's just because, Pierce coming back hasn't done much for Pierce, but he's done a lot for taking things away from Singletary. So Tajay Spears has been getting his own business in what's become a committee with Henry. So I'm going to go Spears on that one. Or Edwards-Helaire. Spears. I like him. Once you said CH was a sleeper, regulators picked them up. Oh, great. Hey, Matt, good looking out, man. That's what you got to do in the playoffs. Even if you're not going to play them, Pick up the guys that could be big, good. Pick up the guys that could be good plays for your opponents. There you go. Oh man, yeah, we got some. It's getting chippy up in here. The fantasy tyrant or the fantasy kingdom league. Hey, we're in playoff mode. We got one more game there. People are jockeying for position, so I'm in a bad spot and hurting. In fact, scratch that question. As for the Yahoo Lee, my bad. I'm in traffic doing stuff. Whatever. I already answered. Who cares? Likely or Kincaid? I like likely. Likely. Love likely, in fact. I think likely will be lovely. I love them. Stupid puns. Fuck that shit. I need to smoke more. Texans are missing two good linebackers in Anderson and Cashman. Yeah, I know. But the matchup's still good. And look what they've been. Okay, if we go, look at something here. There's something I was looking at earlier when I made this prediction here. They scored 10 fantasy points against Denver. 8 points apiece against Cincinnati and Arizona. No, last week there was the surprise big week there for Zach Wilson. I think that's a fluke. So I think Houston could be, but honestly, if you haven't, you're probably not going to need them. I think I'd probably lean Tennessee over Houston if I'm going to go between the two of them. So, last question. DFS lineup. Oh, Jesus. I'll tell you what. I'm going to get off of here now and do my DFS lineup. So, Nick, I'll share that with you in private. Well, not in private. I'll share it in on the chat and things like that. I haven't figured it out yet. There's like a ton of them that I could do, but I'm going to get off here and put that together. You're going to want, there's certain games, I guess, that you want a piece of. And that's what I was looking at. So like I said, I'll go over a lot of, I'll show you, I'll give you a screenshot and I'll let you know what I think for DFS this week. Cause I have ideas. I just got to put them all together. So here, let me give you a little taste though. Give me a second. Bear with me here. I think you want a lot of the Baltimore Jacksonville. I like that. That's a good stack. You can go Lamar Jackson with likely. Okay. Bring it back with Ridley. I think that's a good one. Matthew Stafford. That's going to be that's a low percentage, probably a low percentage of ownership and also cheap. You go with him and you can team him up with either Cooper Cup or Puka. Either way, you're good to go. And then on the other side, you're going to bring back. Well, who are you going to bring back on Washington? What's really interesting. I think that Logan Thomas is a good play. Plug him in at the tight end position. I'm not trusting Scary Terry enough to pay up for him. Curtis Samuel, maybe, if you don't want to go tight end with that. But I think Logan Thomas is a good game. I think that's a good pickup there. So anyway, that's a few stacks that I like. I'm going to get into the rest of it with you. Like I said, I'll show you who I got. Matt, thanks for all your help. Good luck and hit those likes. Yeah, everyone. Hashtag TyRant Gang. Hit the likes. It helps out. Give me some love. I'm up all night figuring this shit out for you. Give me some love, right? Fudge, yeah. I'll send you a couple of mine. Sounds good. Alejandro Meza coming in last second. Dak or Stafford and PPR. It doesn't matter in PPR because unless they throw the ball to themselves, it's not going to make a difference there. But I'm going Dak. I mean, I know it's like a bad weather game, but they need points. If you're really scared and you want to start Stafford, like I was telling Carolyn, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But yeah, I mean, they're going to want to score points. Buffalo's going to want to score points. They'll find ways to do it. They've been doing wet ball drills. If you look it up, the Cowboys have been doing wet ball drills all week. All right, he's prepared. Okay, I'm not worried about the weather for this one. All right, I like I like Dak in this game. Stafford, like I said, it's good, but the problem with Stafford is that his ceiling is capped. His ceiling is capped at about 24, whereas Dak could fucking score all kinds of points. But I think this week it's going to be pretty close. You're looking at I think Stafford probably gets you about 21, 22. And I think Dak's more like the 25, 26 range. So it's close. Alejandro says, listen to this, man. Everyone listen to this. Thank you, Alejandro. I know I've helped you and a lot of other people on here win championships, turn your leagues around, go from the laughing stock of your league to a fucking champ. All right. Alejandro's in this league. He in our Fantasy Kingdom League. All right. So last season, he and I, because of all the Hamlin stuff, we ended up basically sharing the championship. This dude, he's coming back. I know he got the first overall pick, lucky bastard. But yeah, he's back in at first place in this league. So it's gonna be fun. We're in the playoffs together. In fact, it's gonna be he and I, and it's already pretty much established. He and I are facing off in week one, or in playoffs, which start next week in our league. So, hey, the co-champs, one of us is gonna be facing off and defending our title. Which one of it's going to be? I don't know. We'll find out next week. Hey, love you all. Have a great week, everybody. Good luck in your leagues. Sign up with me on Patreon. It's not too late. I'm here to help you. If you've got lots of money going on, on the line in your leagues, you got to want a pocket guru to ask questions to help you, put together the best lineups, get the best waiver wire picks for to help you crush your league, win your championship, win the big money. All right, I'm here to help you. Sign up with me on Patreon. As little as $5 a month, I'll help you out. All right. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you next week, next Sunday. Alejandro, good luck, man. Yeah, we'll see you next week. All right. Hey, everyone, take care. Love you all. And I'm gonna be back for the Christmas episode next Sunday, Christmas Eve morning. Okay, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna have my Santa hat on. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have some nice, mellow Christmas music going on in the background. It's gonna be good times. All right. I love you all. Good luck to all of you this week. Unless you're facing me, then go fuck yourself. But otherwise, hey, love you all. Have a good week. I'll see you next Sunday. Until then, I'm out. Peace.